Initiating startup sequence.
Vámonos! The underworld lies just beyond the sound barrier.
How do you know? That's like super classified demon information.
Not according to the internet.
When I first heard that Goichi Suda, Shinji Mikami, and Akira Yamaoka were collaborating on a new intellectual property, I was ecstatic. The possibilities were swirling around in my mind. Would the game play like No More Heroes or Resident Evil 4 and 5? Would the music be similar to Silent Hill 2? I had absolutely no idea that the game would involve demons, sex jokes, and mounted goat heads upon which candles are attached. Shadows of the Damned tells the tale of Garcia Hotspur, a demon hunter who has lost his woman Paula to the minions of the underworld. Fleming, the head honcho of Hell, mocks Garcia and his male endowment as he and Paula descend from Garcia's towering apartment suite. Naturally, the demon hunter gives chase. With the help of Johnson, a wise-cracking demon skull which serves as Garcia's weapons and motorcycle, Garcia heads into Hell to reclaim his love, Paula. Upon playing the first few chapters of Shadows, you'll realize that it's basically Resident Evil 4 with a new paint job. Garcia controls as if he were Leon S. Kennedy in another life, which is not a bad thing considering that Resident Evil 4 reinvented the third-person shooter experience. Shadows also includes a certain game mechanic that Resident Evil 4 lacked, the ability to move while aiming and firing your weapon. Mind you, Garcia moves slowly while aiming, but the ability to actually move your legs while aiming a gun is one that I welcome. Garcia can also roll and dodge with ease thanks to the tight controls. There's even a quick turn button for pulling a 180 on the fly. During your road trip through Hell, you will come across hordes of demons. You are going to need some firepower, and this is where your companion Johnson comes in handy. Johnson is not your average talking demon skull. He can transform into a torch and multiple firearms. One of the aptly named weapons is the Boner, which uses bones as ammunition. You gain weapon upgrades by hunting down or purchasing red gems, or by obtaining blue gems, which are acquired from downed bosses. All weapons can fire the light shot, a round that stuns enemies in place for a few seconds, during which Garcia can deliver a finishing move, yes, just like Resident Evil 4. Garcia can also use Johnson as a melee weapon while in torch form if baddies move in too closely. If you are running low on health, do not fret. Hell has absinthe vending machines. Yes, that is correct. You are healed by downing various types of alcohol. Shadows isn't all about shooting demons with hilariously named firearms. There are actually a few puzzles scattered throughout the world. It is in Garcia's best interest to stay out of the darkness, a fog-like mass that whittles away at Garcia's life and provides extra protection for demons. To rid areas of darkness, Garcia will have to fire a light shot at mounted goat heads adorned with candles. This will usually dispel the darkness permanently, unless, of course, an enemy decides to put out the candles. Certain bosses also require you to use the light shot and the goat head strategically. Most demons can be coated in the darkness, which grants them invulnerability. The only way to do away with a demon's darkness armor is to use the light shot or Johnson's melee ability. The darkness mechanic adds a hint of complexity to any situation, especially during the Zelda-esque boss encounters. Garcia and Johnson are constantly exchanging dialogue which sounds as if it were written by a group of adolescents. In any other video game I would probably be put off by the immature jokes and goofy banter, but Shadows feels different somehow. The jokes and conversations clash so nicely with the dark and morbid setting of Hell. One moment, Johnson will be explaining to Garcia the origin of the strawberry, and the next, you might come across a group of corpses that are hanging from nooses. You will be visited by demons who have taken on the physical appearance of Paula constantly. The demons lure Garcia in with agonizing cries and pleas for help, and eventually, something ghastly happens to Paula. The atmosphere in Shadows is unique to say the least. The game takes you through many varying locations. One moment, you'll be traversing a gothic town, and the next, a damned marketplace. Most of the areas are not what you would expect from a game that spends most of its time taking you through the underworld. The lighting and stylish usage of color are what stand out in this interpretation of hell. The colors are deep and profound. I constantly found myself simply gazing at the environments and their wonderful visuals. From the ominous swamps to the metropolitan red light district, the game oozes style. Have I mentioned that this game's musical score was composed by none other than Akira Yamaoka? Yamaoka is a genius when it comes to music, and he did not disappoint me in Shadows. The flow and rhythm of the ambient soundtrack are so seamlessly integrated into the dark experience. Simply put, Yamaoka has done an absolutely marvelous job. Overall, the game is very enjoyable. I would highly recommend Shadows if you enjoyed Resident Evil 4. Shadows of the Damned is a nice step into the right direction for Suda, Grasshopper Manufacture, Mikami, and Yamaoka. New ideas and stories are what I value the most in today's world of gaming, and it brings a smile to my face to know that games can still be fun and not take themselves too seriously. After all, it's not too often that you come across a video game that references both Evil Dead and Alanis Morissette. If you want to catch Drax reviews right when they land, be sure to head over to realitypales.com. Games establish worlds so intriguing, we often forget about our own.